Hello there, everybody. My name is Nicole, and I'm about to become an Irish lass. I am going to share my journey with you. My glasses, I don't know if you can see, but they have tear splatter spots on them, and I was about to clean them, and I thought, no, I'm going to wear them so that I'm aware, and possibly you're aware. I don't know if you can see anything here. Maybe let me just go like this. I don't know if you can see the tear splatters, but there have been a lot of tears. There's been a lot of joy and there's been a lot of tears. I'm immigrating from South Africa to Ireland. Um, Today's date is the 8th of October. I've been on this journey since the end of 2019, just before COVID hit us. And I came to the final rounds in an interview in a major technology company. And I didn't end up getting that particular job, but they said to me I must just continue applying. And I did, but then COVID hit us and we all went into lockdown and people didn't really, start employing anyone. And so there went my dreams. And I just felt as though my dreams were shattered, that I was just never going to get overseas. And you may ask, well, why Ireland? And I had this wonderful coach for 8 years who consequently moved to the UK. And she said to me, why don't I look at Ireland? Because I have quite a quirky, eccentric personality, and the Irish people are more accepting of that and they can be quite quirky themselves. So she thought that my personality would fit the Irish culture a lot. So back to my applications for jobs in Ireland. So lockdown and COVID hit us in 2020, and I just kept on trying to apply. And thank heavens, like I was saying to someone the other day, you can Steve Jobs says you can always join the dots backwards when you look back on your life, but it's difficult to join the dots forward. And I fell into quite a heavy depression during lockdown. My brother had passed away a year before that. I'd lost my cat. I just wanted to emigrate because I'm single and I don't feel safe in my country. And I started becoming like a hermit, especially during lockdown. I just didn't feel safe, not only because of the crime here in South Africa, but because of the COVID virus. And I felt so distraught. I felt like my um, dreams of immigrating to Ireland were shattered. And I had very little hope left. Anyway, I continued applying, and I did some online courses, and nothing happened. I got through to a final round of interviews, and just never quite got the job. And a lot of people in the interviews found it quite strange that I hadn't been to Ireland. Um, and I kept saying, well, my best friend lives there. Ireland must be an amazing place. My best friend from primary school lives there. She's Irish. She came to South Africa in the 1980s and we became best mates in primary school. And I loved her family. They were just so incredibly down to earth and just such wonderful people. And we're still friends today. So I kept saying, well, I know what Irish people are like. And they were kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's a bit weird. You haven't been to Ireland. So I decided on the spur of the moment to do a bit of a recce and take a holiday to Ireland and go and see what it was like. So I decided to give myself a birthday gift this year in 2023, and I went to Ireland and I loved it. I absolutely fell in love with it. And when I came back from my holiday and I got off the plane in Johannesburg at OR Tambo, I just started crying because I thought, I'm never going to get there. I'm not getting any younger. Um, I'm doing this quite later in life. Why didn't I do this sooner? And I think the scary thing is that COVID took away 3 years of my life, of everyone's lives. And, as I said to you, not getting any younger. So it was touch and go. But oh yes, joining the dots. looking backwards, I forgot that. Sorry if I keep jumping from one thing to the next, but I just want to say this quickly. I've just remembered is thank goodness I didn't get that job in 2019 in that major technology company. Because they actually ended up retrenching a whole lot of people and salespeople, which is what I would have been doing. I would have been the first to go. So I would have just been sent back, probably been sent back to South Africa packing and crying. Like when I got off the plane from my holiday after I went there in April, and I was just absolutely in tears. I just knew in my heart that that's where I wanted to be, and I loved Ireland. So firstly, my experience of Ireland was with my best friend, Louise. She's Irish, incredible person, and we just got on like a house of fire. Great sense of humor, just such good people, you know. And then when I went to Ireland, it's just beautiful. They don't call it the Emerald Isle for nothing. It's beautifully green all year round. They've got in the country, they've just got fields full of beautiful yellow daisies. They've got what was amazing to me is they've got these hedges on the sides of the roads in the countries, and the roads are quite narrow, but the hedges aren't just hedges, and they're beautifully trimmed, by the way. I was just, driving around looking at how beautiful and green it was with all these incredibly trimmed hedges around the sides of these small country roads. But these hedges are not hedges, they're ditches. So they're built into ditches. And I believe that the ditches were built to mark off the land. So I need to go into there is actually a YouTube video somewhere called about ditches in Ireland. I'll try and add it to this video. But the history of the ditches in Ireland, there's a long history there. So I'm busy actually watching all these beautiful things about the history of Ireland, um, and just learning about this beautiful country I'm going to. So let's just get back to the tears part. I immigrating is quite is they say it's up there with one of the most stressful things of death. And I think last week I started feeling that because I just want to get there so badly, and I had to wait for my work permit to come through, and it was taking a long time. So I got it, and then I resigned, and they wouldn't let me go as early as I'd wanted to on this side in South Africa. So I'm getting there later, and I just started crying. I felt I just was overcome with emotion. So this is why I've still got tears in my specs, because I was wearing them on Friday afternoon when I was crying. And there are still going to be a lot more tears. I mean, I know my coach, when she immigrated, she said she's not running away. She's not running from South Africa. She's running to new dreams. And South Africa is a beautiful country. I've actually been preparing for this move by getting all my old VHS tapes. I'm showing my age here, but all my VHS tapes from the 90s put over to digital so that I've got some memories and I don't have to schlep all my physical VHS tapes, which I don't know where I'd watch them anyway because I don't have a video machine. So I got them transferred over to digital, and I've got some beautiful memories that I've been sharing with people. So some of the good things is that I've been reconnecting with family and friends from the past who are in these VHS videos. I used to be a TV presenter in the 90s. It was on a Christian television show called J and Co. So I've shared those videos with the co-presenters and with our producer, Laurel, who produced the show, and just reconnecting with old friends and telling them the news that I'm immigrating. And then there was this incredible video that I'd forgotten about, and we had actually put it onto VHS. Well, my mom did. She put all these film rolls that my dad had taken in the 70s, my late father Graham, he had taken in the 70s, and she put it onto VHS for my 21st, and we watched it. And there's these moving pictures of me as a baby in the 70s, and my mom and extended family and my sister and my dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family. Her siblings are all on there. I'm the oldest of five. My other siblings weren't born yet, but my one sister is on there, and I've just been reconnecting with people and looking back over the wonderful life I've had here in South Africa. It truly is a beautiful country. So it's going to be sad leaving, but I know that I'm going to the most beautiful country I could ever wish for, and I'm truly grateful. So it seems like there's a theme of tests in my life. With my first coach, that I had for 8 years, I um I had to do a test before I went to see her. And I don't like being put in a box. So I said to her, well, why must I do this test? Why do I have to do a test to come and see you? I'm not doing a test. You're not going to put me in some box or something, you know? So she said, well, if you don't do the test, you can't come and see me. And a friend of mine had told me and recommended that I go and see her because she's so brilliant. And I said, well, she wants me to do this test and I'm not doing this stupid test. And she said, no, go and see her. She's absolutely brilliant, you know? So I said, okay, fine, I'll do this stupid test. So I did the test. And it turned out that this test helped my coach to see things in me that I thought nobody ever saw. And she started, in my first session with her, she started um, talking about all these things that nobody else had understood about me. For example, that um, I like to rather go to events and go to other people's homes because after a while, once I've had enough, I need to leave and decompress. And I couldn't understand how she knew this about me. And it was incredible. And it was a test and her insight that changed my life and really helped me to be more compassionate with myself and to understand myself and to know my limitations, you know. So now I don't overstay my welcome or stay somewhere too long because I know that I'm going to need time to get in the car, my own car. And I love driving. One of my favorite things is getting in my car, and just that's where I find I decompress the most. For some reason, maybe it is uh, actually, Andrew Huberman says it's got something to do with when you look at the horizon, and when you're driving, you have to look at the horizon. You're using a different part of your brain. You need to look up close at computers, but then you need to look up every now and then and look at the horizon because you're using a different part of your brain. And for some reason, I just feel like I process things when I drive. So perhaps it has something to do with that. But I'm going to be doing a lot of driving in my new job, which is great. So I'm going to be going and seeing a lot of people, which is fantastic because I've been working from home for the last 3 years. But then I'm going to be driving a lot. So I'm going to be decompressing in between, which is perfect. So that's the first part of the journey. The sadness of leaving family behind and thinking, well, are they going to be safe? And my brother and my mom have just actually moved to a safer area. So I feel like I've wrapped things up there. I know in my mind that my family are going to be safe. So I feel relieved. And so I have nothing to be sad about. So I'm now going to clean my glasses when I get off this call. And any tears from now on are going to be tears of joy. I'm looking so forward to this new journey. There are going to be some changes I'm going to need to make in my life, and I'm going to make a couple of videos every day from now on to let you know how it's going. There's going to be a huge change in my life. And even though immigrating is up there with the stress of death, um, Andrew Huberman and a whole lot of scientists have said that if you do something challenging, you create new neural pathways in your brain. So I'm going to use this opportunity to use these stresses for good and make some changes I need in my new journey. One of the big changes is going to be that I'm not going to be climbing out of my bed and rolling straight into my desk. That using during the pandemic, our company let us work from home, and it was fantastic. I've always wanted to know what it's like to work from home, and it was great. But it caused me to become a little bit of a hermit out of habit. And it's been pretty easy to make I've won a lot of time back, which I've been so grateful for looking back. Very grateful that I haven't had to travel every day to work and sit in traffic. So I've used that time to do other things, like when I wake up early, I have a bit more time to myself and I have a little bit more time to prepare for the day, um, instead of traveling. So now I'm going to have to go back into the pre work from home days and wake up again at how I used to. And so I'm leaving to go to Dublin in 3 weeks' time, and I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to start preparing and creating these new neural pathways and changing my routine again to get into this new life of traveling to work again and traveling on the road and meeting customers. So I'll be getting up early and doing Andrew Huberman's suggestions of getting light into your eyes and early in the morning so that you set your circadian rhythms and try and get into this routine before I go so that it's not a huge shock to the system when I'm there. So I'll let you know how that goes. They are also turning their clocks back to daylight saving, so they will be 2 hours behind South Africa. So this is going to be tough. I'm not a morning person, so I'm going to try and wake up every day from now on, South African time, at 5 o'clock because I will need to wake up in Ireland at 6 o'clock. But they're 2 hours behind, so it's going to be a ginormous shock to the system. So I should actually wake up at 4 o'clock every morning to set my circadian rhythms. I don't know. I think I'll start with 5 o'clock. And then when I get there, look, everyone else in Ireland is going to have to transition an hour back anyway. So I'll be joining the whole country and being exhausted because they've got to get up an hour earlier, essentially, and reset their clock. So I guess if I wake up at 5 o'clock here, I would have woken up at 6 o'clock there. I'm now going to be waking up essentially there at 4 o'clock, which is our 6 o'clock time here. So I'm going to be joining the country literally when I get there, resetting the clock back to their 2 hours before instead of because Ireland's an hour behind South Africa at the moment. But when I land there, it will pretty much be 2 hours behind. So it's perfect. I will join them in their exhaustion in the first few weeks of November in being tired from the daylight saving. So I'll let you know how that 5 o'clock thing goes because I don't do 5 o'clock in the morning. And I want to get the most important things done before I get up, before I go to work in the mornings. I want to have packed my lunch. I want to have had a cold shower to do the cold water therapy. I want to have done my exercise and walking. I want to have done my strength exercises as well. And I want to have used my SAD lamp to get light into my eyes and set good circadian rhythms for when I get there. And I would like to, what else would I, just prepare myself for the day. Just, prepare my mind, look at my workload for the day, start my day, having planned it correctly so that I can hit the ground running. I'm glad I went to visit Ireland. I think I know all the shops. I know that I need to go. I can either go to Lidl, Tesco, Aldi, or Super Value. Those are the four main stores there that I familiarize myself with. I already know the products. And I also know, so in South Africa, we have what they call packers. When you go to the shops, we don't have self-service tills yet where we can scan our own items and pack our own shopping bags. So in South Africa, you have people at the end of the tills packing your bags for you. And when I went to Ireland, I had like major bag packing anxiety, performance anxiety, because I was packing all the bags and I didn't have enough bags and I wasn't doing it fast enough. And the people in the queue behind me were waiting because I didn't go to the self checkout. I went to the person who's, the teller or the person at the till. And I was so slow. I had such severe performance anxiety. I think I must have been had a red face because I was trying to pack all my things in the bags. And, so we're very spoiled in South Africa that we get people who actually get paid to pack our bags for us. So by the time you finish paying, your bags are packed and in your trolley and off you go. And another thing is you don't have to pay to use a trolley here in South Africa. So in Ireland, you have to have a €1 or €2 to use a trolley. So that was also a bit of a challenge for me. And then, of course, forgetting my shopping bags. When I went to do my shopping, I kept on forgetting to take bags. So I'd have to buy these expensive bags to put my shopping in. So at least I'm sort of mentally prepared for that. performance anxiety again. I'm still not a good packer. I should have actually, when I came back to South Africa. In fact, I've got 3 weeks left. If I go shopping now, I will pack my own bags to start preparing and time myself. And then there are in the country where I'll be living in the country in County Cavan near Mullingar. Thank you, Louise, my friend, for telling me how to say it properly. Mullingar, not Malinga, Mullingar. And it's out in the country where I'll be staying. So what I find quite interesting about Ireland and what could freak you out if you haven't been there before is the ditches on the side of the road. So as I've said, my night vision isn't the best. Um, and if I had to drive in these narrow roads and veer off the road slightly and not know that there were ditches on the side of the road, I might have damaged my rent-a-car when I get there. But I know the roads now, and I feel like I'm familiar with the surroundings, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I'm very excited, and I will share this journey with you. So if anyone else is doing this, they'll have a feel for it. And maybe there will be a few more tears, but I think the last of the tears were on Friday. And as I said, I've been reminiscing through putting all my childhood digital photos have gone onto, I've scanned them and made digital copies as well. So I've got to reminisce and express a lot of gratitude towards my country, my beautiful country, South Africa. But I'm now excited because I'm not running from, I'm running to a new country. Thanks, Lynn, for that. My coach said that, and it's very important to actually have that mindset, that I'm running to a new adventure. And this is a completely new phase of my life, and I'm excited. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow and let you know how that 5 o'clock thing goes. Yeah, I'm very nervous about that, but I'm going to start getting into that routine so long of doing the exercise, having the cold water therapy, the cold shower, getting the light in my eyes, and packing my lunch and preparing for my day. So I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.